Summary of A Good Man is Hard to Find by Flannery O'Connor. The story starts with a family getting ready to go on a road trip. The grandmother wants to get her family to go to Tennessee instead of Florida, so she shows her son Bailey and his wife a story from the newspaper. The story is about a prisoner called the Misfit who broke out of federal jail and is thought to be heading toward Florida. The grandmother says that she would never let her children get close to such a dangerous criminal because she couldn't answer to her conscience if she did. Bailey and his wife don't care about Grandma, and Bailey's kids, June Starr and John Wesley, make fun of her. The next morning, Grandma sits in the car before anyone else, all packed and ready to go. She is dressed up and wears a fancy hat, which is different from the rest of her family. They leave and head to Florida in the south. When the kids fight in the car, Grandma tells them a story about a boy who liked her when she was younger to keep them quiet. Red Sammy Butts runs the tower, which is a gas store and dance hall. The family stops there. The grandmother talks with Red Sammy about how bad things have gotten over time. People say you can't trust anyone anymore, and Red Sammy says, a good man is hard to find. After the family leaves the tower, the grandmother tells them about a nearby farm she went to when she was young. The grandmother lies to Bailey because she knows he won't want to visit. She says there is a secret door in the wall with silver behind it. When the kids have a fit because they want to see the house, Bailey agrees, so he drives down an empty country road in search of the house. Just as Bailey is about to turn around, the grandmother realizes that the house she remembers is actually in a different state, hundreds of miles away. She is so upset by this idea that she lets her cat, which she had sneaked into the car, jump on Bailey by mistake. The car crashes because Bailey swerves. The car flips over and ends up back on its wheels in a gulch off the side of a road. Another hearse-like car is coming. 3 guys get out of the car, and each one has a gun. One of the men looks at the family's car to see how easy it would be to fix. As Bailey tries to describe their position, the grandmother stops and says to one of the 3 guys, "You're the misfit." The man says that he is the misfit, but it would have been better if she hadn't recognized him. The misfit tells his 2 helpers, Hiram and Bobby Lee, to take Bailey and John Wesley over to the woods. There are 2 gunshots. The misfit talks to the grandmother for a long time about his past, his time in jail, and how he feels about the world. The rest of grandmother's family, on the other hand, is taken to the bush and shot. The misfit keeps talking to the grandmother, and she tells him over and over that he must be a good person at heart and would never shoot an old lady. She suddenly tells him, "You're one of my kids. You're one of my own kids." Then she reaches out and puts her hand on his shoulder. When she touches the misfit, he jumps back and shoots her 3 times in the chest. After the henchmen return from the woods, the misfit takes the grandmother's cat. The misfit says about the grandmother, she would have been a good woman if someone had been there to shoot her every minute of her life.
About the author. Flannery O'Connor was born in Savannah, Georgia. At the age of 6, O'Connor became a small star for a short time when a movie was made about how she trained a chicken. When O'Connor was a teenager, her father was diagnosed with systemic lupus erythematosus. Several years later, he died from the disease. After studying social sciences at the Georgia State College for Women, O'Connor was accepted into the highly competitive fiction graduate program at the Iowa Writers' Workshop. In 1951, she was told she had the same disease that had made her father sick and killed him. She went back to her family's old farm in Milledgeville, Georgia, to live with them. O'Connor was only supposed to live for another 5 years, but she lived for 14 more. Until the end of her life, she continued to write a lot, give talks, raise birds, and travel. She wrote 2 books, 2 collections of short stories, and a lot of essays over the course of her work. Her work has won many awards and honors, and she is now thought of as one of the most important writers of the 20th century.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.